Hey everybody, my name is April and this is Thrifty Nerdy Mom. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. So glad to see everyone. And today is a Christmas in July craft collab. But before I get into that, please like and subscribe. Join our family. We would love to have you. So this collab is put on by Lena from Hall Family Adventures, and I will have her and everyone else linked below in the description box. And today I thought I would make a cute spin on those little marshmallow. You can buy like the coffee cups, but they're like the hot chocolate marshmallow figurine things. But I thought I'd put like a little Disney spin on it, and yeah, let's go ahead and jump in and show you how I make. So for this project, you're going to need a couple of these dice that I got out of the back to school section or the teacher's aid section. You're just going to pull off the little dry erase parts. I got these felt pads that come in circular shapes from Dollar Tree. You're going to need some paintbrushes, brown, white, and black paint. I also suggest getting a black Sharpie just because it's easier to draw on the faces, and a hot glue gun with quite a bit of hot glue. So like I said, you're going to take off the dry erase on the dice, and it does take quite a bit of time and go slower than quickly because then you have all those little white marks on it, but you can use a baby wipe or a wet damp washcloth and get some of that off too. So we're going to start by painting our dice white. I will warn you, it took like 3 or 4 coats to get the complete color out of the white. To make it look completely white, it took 3 or 4 coats. It took 3 or 4 coats. This is it after 1 coat. The blue is after 2 coats, so it did take a lot of coats. But in between coats, I decided to go ahead and start painting our ears, which are just the larger pieces of felt pads, and I did paint front and back. So after all the paint is dry, we're going to take hot glue on the flat part of the felt piece and glue that onto our dice cube, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's just a fluffy looking cube. So you're going to put hot glue on the bottom and then press it down onto the dice, and then you're going to put more hot glue around the ear to make it more sturdy. So now we're going to work on the dripping effect where it looks like hot chocolate is dripping down the marshmallow, and you're just going to add a big glob of hot glue and then kind of tilt your dice around, that way it smears out. And as you can see that I'm doing here, I work in sections. I don't do it all at once, and I just focus on getting it to drip the way I want it to drip. And sorry that my hand is sort of out of frame, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing as I lean the cube around. So I'm finished with cube 1, and now we are just going to start working on cube number 2. And just in case anyone's wondering why one turned out more of a yellow color and the other one's turning out more clear, I used different glue guns in the process of doing all this, and and one turned out yellow and one turned out clear. Either way, it didn't really matter because we were going to paint it brown. And now that our hot glue is all dry, we are going to start painting it brown, and we're going to paint the top and the little drippies. I recommend using a small paintbrush, that way you can get the ends and the sides and stuff like that and not necessarily get it on the white. And like I said, try to do this carefully, that way you don't get it on the white. And I did end up doing 2 coats of the brown on the hot glue just to make sure that the brown wasn't as transparent. And this is it. As I'm done painting it, it still needs to dry and stuff like that, but we're going to start working on the second one. Now that our brown is all dried, I believe I did this over, I let it dry overnight. We're going to start working on the faces, and I'm going to start with using a pencil before I use a marker or a pen. And as you saw, I already did one face, which is going to be my Mickey, and now I'm just working on the Minnie. I'm giving her some cheeks, I'm giving her a little smile, and I realized my hand's in the way. I'm so sorry. But it's really simple lines and shapes. It's not anything too technical. I did do different faces just because I wanted to kind of try out 2 different faces, but I really like Mickey's face in this, and if I were to do more, I would probably do the ones with like the round eyes and the little Mickey shape in the eyeball. So after I draw in my shapes, I'm going to start with adding light pink onto where the cheeks are going to be. I don't want it to be too pink and bright. I just want a light pale pink, give it a little bit different color. And then on this one, I'm going to use a Sharpie to draw in the eyes and the mouth. With the other one, I ended up using a paintbrush, and it was hard getting the mouth not to be too thick. So I definitely recommend a Sharpie. And if you're going to use a Sharpie, maybe even get a fine tip or a new Sharpie that has more of a not so blunt tip. And now that her face is done, we are going to make our little mini marshmallow a bow. I'm just putting seams onto both ends of the fabric. I do this with most of my bows. If you would like a more in-depth tutorial on bow making, look up one of my ear DIYs. You can kind of see a little bit better how I make my bows. And after my bow is all folded up, I'm just gonna scrunch it up in the middle, and I chose red and white, or white polka dots on a red background, and then chose a green middle. That way I can give it a little bit of Christmas flair. And now we're just going to glue it down onto the marshmallow. And this is the finished product. I'm super happy with them. They don't necessarily look like Mickey and Minnie, but they just look like Mickey and Minnie type of marshmallows. They would make really cute ornaments, or like you can put them down on a coffee bar, and I'm just happy with them. So that's what I made. I think they're adorable. They would be cute ornaments if you put a little thread or string on the top and hung them from a tree, which might be what I do. Or you could put them like on a coffee or hot chocolate bar during the winter, and they would be really cute then. The bow is super customizable. You can even customize like the eyes and stuff like that to make them have different facial expressions. But yeah, I thought it was super easy, super cheap, just a fun little DIY. It'd be cool to do with kids too. But yeah, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you real soon. Bye.